Gotta go. Girl talk.
Boom! Hard in. It's just me. You got solo Doell today hanging out here at Gotham City tonight. I know it's a very random Saturday to be doing this, but I wanted to get this review in because I wasn't sure when else I was going to have the time to do it. And I know that it's like, hey, you could just do it on Wednesday, but no, we got a special guest coming on Wednesday, which is why I have previews open after a lot of waiting, a lot of scheduling, and getting everything set up. This Wednesday, we are going to have Mitch Garrett's on the channel. We're going to talk about this right here. All right, we're going to talk about Wonder Woman Black and Gold 2026. It's going to be his first writing credit in a comic. We got to talk about it. So there we go. That's going to be that. So I just want to give everyone a heads up on that. That's why we won't be doing a review of this book right here. I am going to be doing some flipping through it. This is just so that you can see if this is something that you want to get. But before we start getting into that, let's say hello to the chat, shall we? Make mine Marvel Legends. Andrew's Gady's Toys. Be sure to check out his channel because he drops stuff on Saturday as well. Please check it out. Skylar Davis is here. We've got Harpo Quandrix is here as well. Yeah, it's early. It's just a mid-Saturday, just a casual Saturday reading day, book club, so to speak. Video power gaming in here. Yeah, we'll get into that. Tony Johnson is here as well. I was expecting a DL44 intro. We still need to make one. I'm going to talk to Brandon about that. And Hunter Iggy 2762. I don't think his number is meant to be there, but I'm saying them until everyone fixes their names. What's up, everyone? Hello and welcome. Yeah, I want to talk about this book. This is the Superman, the art and making of the film. I was very excited for this book because I was guess straight up, I was very excited. Not that one, not this one, not that one, this one. We'll get there. They really need to. If anyone understands, as ever use StreamYard, you'll know what we're going through. Craig and I both do this. Anyways, I digest. I was really excited about this movie, which then and I really enjoyed it, and I was very excited about this book when they announced it. And then it showed up, and it was not what I expected it to be. So we're gonna go through this. I'm not going to go through the entire book because really you won't be able to read it off the screen. That's where I'm going with that. I love art of and making of books, of movies. I've been getting them for a very long time. It feels like right, the making of Jurassic Park. Lots of cool stuff in this. If anyone's ever found this very old book, it's very vintage. I think you can still get it. It's probably pretty easy to find in used bookstores. I highly suggest grabbing this. It's a very, very cool, amazing book. And then also, when I was younger, we used to get stuff like this, right? These official movie books. And this was as close as we got to the making of a lot of these things as well. So I was like, okay. But there was always a little bit of art in them at the very least. You could always see the production and all that kind of stuff, how things got from where they went to what we saw on screen, from concept to screen, I guess you could say, that kind of thing. And so I've always been obsessed with these kind of books, and I love them. This is the closest you get to me being Ken Plume at the moment, just showing off everything I own. But I want to go through this, and I want to show some comparisons of other modern art and making of books. and see how this kind of compares and why this was probably, uh, you know, just I was disappointed. Just straight up, I was disappointed, and I just want to go through all this. Hunter's asking Gotham City tonight. What is your thoughts so far on Lanterns and Supergirl and Man of Tomorrow? Uh, Excited for all of it. I want to see. I can't wait for the first trailer of Lanterns. Um, Man of Tomorrow sounds like it's going to be Brainiac, long overdue for a movie. And Supergirl, she was great in this movie. I like Party Girl, Supergirl. So bring it on. I'm excited for all of it. But anyways, here we go. So we get into the book, right? Nice big splash pages, all that kind of stuff. Nice forward from David Cornsweet in here as well. I'll try to. It's my above camera doesn't go high enough to cover the crazy width of this entire book. And then we get an introduction from James Gunn as well, which also had, I was like, oh, this is great. And we kind of get into the books and the comics that inspired James Gunn and what this new universe is going to look like. Again, Lanterns, right? Wonder Woman, Booster Gold, Authority. And then we get into Creature Commandos, get into Superman, the comic books, his favorite, the comic books again, that just kind of like a background of Superman. Some very rough sketched out storyboards. And then from here, we kind of just get very few photos. A lot of photos we've already seen other places, but we're getting it is pretty much this: photo, text, photo, text. Some cool signs. Picture of a city. This is it. This is pretty much. This is the closest we get to any art in the book for concepts, is the kaiju. But then Superman is just this. We get cut off photos or cut off artwork, so we don't even get to see the whole piece. Some photos, and we're already in Fortress of Solitude. This is like the biggest disappointment I think I've ever had. I was so excited to see the concepts of Superman and how we got to this point. How did we go from here? How did we what were the other concepts for the suit, and more importantly, the symbol, and why did we choose to go with something a little more Kingdom Come? I'm sure it explains in all of this, but I always feel like with these, if you're going to do the art and making of, have some art in here and let the art tell the story. And I think that's exactly how Attack Peter put it last Wednesday, that he was when he was on the show. Let the art tell the story, because there's not a lot of it, and we don't get a lot of concept in here. Like, this is the coolest thing, I think, in the book. And then when we get like 5 pages of crypto art. And again, we don't get to see the concepts of when did crypto go, like, why did they choose a golden retriever? Why are we getting, how did he become Snowy from Tintin? Right? Like, how did we get there? We don't really get to know. Why is this making me, hang on, that always switching? Maybe I should do that. That would probably be better. So we're always getting just things like this. We're not really getting a lot. And then from there, that's it. We get you get one photo each of everyone. You get more interiors of this than Superman. This is it for Hawkgirl. That's it for Guy Gardner. We're already into Hall of Justice. So that's my review. My review is, I wish there was more. Again, we're just getting a lot of photos and some art. I like the layouts and stuff. Like, I do really like this stuff. But where's the character art? Even Lois Lane got like a page. Jimmy Olsen got that's it. That's it for Jimmy. He just gets a write-up. Right? That's it. Lex Luthor, same deal. He just gets a write-up. There's no There's no nothing. And you're probably like, hey, these are just people in like suits, business casual, right? Like exactly this right here, right? Like no character, costume progression, nothing, nothing, nothing of that sort. So I'm going to go through some other books and I want to show you the difference of like what I got compared to what I was expecting versus what I got. So I don't need to go through all of this. Like I said, if you want, if unless you just want to go through a whole bunch of texts, you can. But there's a lot of a lot of explaining and not enough showing your work, I guess. So with that was a little disappointing to say the least. So when we're talking about concepts, I'm going to bring up this bad boy. This is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. This came out back in 1999. I want to point out this. Yes, my bookmarks are doubles of Marvel Series 3 cards. Here we go about some write-up, and then we see the progression of how did we go from this, to here, to here, to here, right? How do we go from this to this? That to me is far more interesting than reading about it. And trust me, I love reading. I read books. But when you have something that is strictly something that is visual, such as this, I expect visuals. I don't need to use my imagination for this. Come on. I want to see other people showcase their imagination, and I want to be inspired. It's crazy. So, I want to show like this off, like this kind of progression. This one too, right? Show us all the different styles and looks. And then here on the side, it just tells you this is what we were thinking. This is where the inspiration came from. These are the cultures we were looking at. And it was awesome. And we love it. And I was like, I love it too. It's so good. So give me more stuff like this. For any of you who don't own these art of episodes 1, 2, and 3 books, get them. They are amazing. And the next one I want to bring up here as well is even like the progression of Darth Maul and how he changed, right? And you will see here, like even like there's some Asajj Ventress here. You can see some of the stuff for Asajj. Obviously, Mother Talsund. A lot of these concepts got reused down the line, mostly in Clone Wars, or in this case, action figures and hot toys. Like all this stuff went to merchandise eventually. Like even this concept, like that was a Power of the Force figure. That was his training gear, I believe, right? And this one too was another one called training gear or something. But yeah, right? Like we get all this beautiful concept work. This is what, if I'm getting an art and making of a book, this is it, right? Here's the explanation. Here's how we did it. This is how we built it. And it came from this, right? To me, that's it, right? That's what I expect in these books. The same writer, James Field, he also did this one, The Art of Batman, The Art of the Batman. Now, maybe it's because this one's called The Art and Making of that they decided they just want to talk more about the making of. But again, look at this. Nice, big write-up. This is what we were thinking. This is how we made it. Nice big spread of artwork. And now we break down the suit. We break down the symbols, right? The chest plates, right? All of this stuff. These beautiful sketches that they look like blueprints. They look like something Bruce Wayne would have. It feels more like a guidebook on how to build your own suit than anything else. And I think it's like super cool to have this kind of stuff. And this is, again, this to me is what Superman is missing, right? They plotted out the whole language that the Riddler was making riddles with in this. And there's nothing like this. There's no translator for Kryptonian. Like this to me feels like all of this is more. Maybe the Batman was just more thought out and laid out than anything else. And here again, we see the inspiration. We see this from the comics. And they're like, we can do that too. This is what the art of Superman is missing. We need more stuff like this, more shot like even this, like it's just him gliding. Like, why don't we even have just shots like this of Superman just flying and how he was supposed to look when he was, flying. I want to get into the Lois Lane of things and Lex Luthor and Jimmy. Again, it's just fashion. They're just wearing clothes, but the clothes make the character. You put Jimmy Olsen in the wrong thing, it doesn't look or feel like Jimmy Olsen. I made this. The book is amazing, and I believe it's still available. So the Art of the Batman, I highly suggest checking it out. I got this because of course I did. I love this show. I don't care who knows. I love it. But again, the art and making up for this as well. Look at this. Hairstyles. Right down to hairstyles, makeup styles, a makeup guide. How do we make She-Hulk look like She-Hulk and still be Jen? Right? Like, it's so and pages of it. Like, just pages on just hair and clothes. Right? That's all this is. And it's so good. And it's like, there you go. There's your explanation. Let's go from here. And again, when you're doing Lois Lane and Lex and all of them, this is it, man. Give me a style guide like this. What were they all planning to put Lois Lane in? Like Lex Luthor. What were their fashion styles and choices, and how did they decide, hey, let's just make her look like Superman the animated series? Like, why didn't they go through that? It absolutely blows my mind. Right? Here's more of this. And not only that, here's the great thing about the She-Hulk book is that if you do love, they planned out meticulously what she would wear for every episode and why it's different. And it's so good. It's so good. This is hands down one of my favorite books I bought. And it was just one of those that's I don't know how much is going to be in here. And it's so good. So I was just expecting more stuff, like this. That's okay. I guess. I don't know. I feel like it was a total bust. But this is great, right? This is the stuff I look forward to. I love this. We get the side by side of both Jens. Just that's how the dress will fit when she's Jen. That's how it'll fit when she's She-Hulk. Perfect. Right? All these hideous bridesmaid dresses. Perfect. Right? So I don't know. This is what I was hoping for. More stuff like this. And I didn't get it. It's kind of a bummer. And I'm going to show you one last book. Like I said, this is going to be just a quick little episode. This to me, I think we brought this one up as well. This is The Art of Galaxy's Edge. If anyone has not picked up this book, I am going to highly suggest and recommend this art book. There's a lot of amazing Star Wars art books out on the market right now. The Mandalorian season 1 and 2 are obviously amazing. And then there's ones for the New Republic or the High Republic. Sorry. There's ones for video games, all that. We're still never got one for Obi-Wan. Still never got one for Book of Boba Fett or Skeleton Crew. Waiting for it. The Acolyte one comes out next year. because of course it is. Because of course Acolyte gets one. This is an amazing book. This will give you insight into. Here's what's amazing. Like, hang on, let me collect my thoughts here. The amazing thing about this book is that it tells you exactly what their vision and thought process was in building this theme park, straight from the first initial conversation. Sorry, I'm showing text. Text is boring. And it helps break down everything, who's working on it. Everyone gets their credit. So that way, when they start naming names, you can go back and be like, oh, that's who that is. And they go through and they tell you, like, this is the concept. This is the idea. This is how we are going to break it down. Here is our influence from other countries and other cultures. Here's a good quick layout, napkin type layout of the park. And then they just went big. Like, if anyone has ever seen this, you're going to be like, what the hell? They would never be able to afford something like this. And it is absolutely like, seriously, were they really going to do this? But really what they were doing was like world building. They were already fleshing out the planet, building out the planet of Batu, and then from there, scale it down. Right? So this is, and we get right up to, then it goes right into character concepts. These were ideas for characters in the park. You'll see some very familiar looking designs here. These are from McKeag, who did the episode 1 concepts as well. They brought it's almost like they brought back the band. Got the band back together for this. So it's absolutely amazing. Tony Johnson saying the Galaxy's Edge book makes me sad. It's a lot of what could have been. It is, but I think, just like I was mentioning before, I think a lot of this was trying to explore and almost like, what is the biggest, grandest concept we can have and that we can do? And then from there, they decided, like, okay, we like this. Now, then they go from there and they start chipping away at it to be able to afford it. And it doesn't mean it'll never be able to go back to doing any of this. I don't know if they were ever going to have Kylo choking out people in the park. But man, like, this is a bonkers itself, right? Like, it's so insane, right? This we got. So it takes you through even like the ride entrances, everything. Maybe I'll go through. There you go. See your resistance transport for when you go from one part of the ride to the other part of the ride. Very cool. If you're into that kind of stuff too, like I said, this book is just absolutely mind-blowing of what they wanted, what they got, what they couldn't have. And they even talk about stuff that they couldn't really afford. Here we go. Right? Like all the different bartenders. I don't think they were ever could really afford to have like costumed bartenders. Though I love the idea of it, of having creature bartenders. At one point, it looked like one was going to be like an animatronic. Right, just weird stuff. Oh yeah, there's the stuff for all the coasters that I believe. Right. This is very Who Framed Roger Rabbit with the octopus bartender, which I love. But again, I don't know how much of this they would have been able to do or afford. But I mean, there's a lot of it there. And I know that they're saying, like, yeah, what could have been. I still got a feeling they're still going to expand that park, but people need to go back to the park and, actually, yeah, people need to travel again. People aren't going to the States anymore, or at least not a lot of people. So, I mean, once business kind of picks up and running, maybe in the next couple of years, maybe they'll expand more of this stuff, or maybe they should have expanded more of Galaxy's Edge instead of doing another Avatar land. I don't know. I'm not a huge Avatar fan. Maybe that's why. I love Avatar: The Last Airbender, but the James Cameron Avatar stuff, I don't know. I didn't really think that it had that much of a. Those movies did that well, that it was such a draw that it needed a massive land in Disney parks, regardless of how cool it looks. Didn't know. But what do I know? I know nothing of the sort. Anyways, back to it. This is that is my review and comparison of Superman, the making, the art and making of the film. Clearly, it's more about you wanting to read about the making, but I don't think it needed to be a book in this kind of format. If that was the case, I think if they were going to do that, they should have just went to that old school '90s route. They should have just made something like this, and I think it probably would have been maybe easier for me to digest. But I feel like there's still just not enough art. The fact that a majority of the art is the robots, the dog, and the kaiju, just kind of bums me out. And the fact that even the art that we have in there, again, there's just no concepts, no progression, no how did we get here? So maybe they'll do another one day. Maybe they'll just do one that's just that, or maybe there's something that's in those concepts that they're hiding, or maybe they're just trying to keep secret and they're like, we don't want this public yet. That could be it as well. But again, this book, not for me. I'll probably never open it again. I'm probably just going to read. There's some more stuff that I do want to read about as far as like the making of, but I think once I've read it, I read it. I don't think I'm ever going to really pick it up again. But that does not reflect reflect my my love for the movie, because I enjoyed the movie very, very much. But yeah, there's like, it's not even like any Supergirl stuff in here. It just makes me so torn, so torn about it. It hurts. It hurts. Hang on a second. Yeah. Tony Johnson, right here. Cute Cult is here. Thank you for being here, hanging out. How ironic if they bulldozer Toontown. I don't think they need to bulldoze Toontown. I think that's a staple in itself, and you could tell that Toontown is a staple at Disneyland because they just refurbed it. And they just added that new ride, the Runaway Railway. So I don't think they'll ever bulldoze Toontown. But never say never. Tony Johnson as well here again. Gun storyboards, everything. Surprising they aren't part of this unless they don't share. So there is a little bit. I'll show you. So this is the closest we get to those storyboards. And these are just like circles and dots. Circles, dots, and arrows, right? Hang on. Sorry. Let's do that. Right? That's all it is. Those are the storyboards. So we only get that. There's not, again, that's it. That's it. Just the 2 pages. So that is it. Yeah, kind of a bummer. Yeah, this is it too. Dr. Dacre? Is it Dacre? The Nolan Dark Knight art book had a similar lack of visuals. Agreed. That is like a thick book, and they did that one was pretty much not even the art of it. It was just the making of the Batman Nolan trilogy, and it goes through all 3 movies, and there is like 0 art in it, and there's like photos of the costumes and stuff. But it's also like it's this big coffee table book that is just a lot of reading. So it's like you got to have that thing open on your lap and you got to read it. I think I have it here somewhere, and it's funny because I thought about that book, but I was just like, because that's another one too I have not picked up since I read what I wanted to read from it, and this falls under the same category. It's just not for me. Jamil Parks Hey, Doell, coming in late. Is it just me, or have a lot of recent art of looks been lacking concept art, used costume, yeah, unused costume designs? Agreed. Agreed. I know you are coming in late. We do talk about that, and I bring in other examples from other art books, older ones, and some newer ones of just like what could have been. But I feel like we're getting less and less of that as well. And I feel like a lot of it's just like, here's the final art that got approved. Even though there's a lot of it, uh, like the Batman, for instance, like a lot of that is mostly uh, the approved concepts or the approved artwork. But there's still a lot of it in there and a lot of breakdowns, so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. The Doctor. Why no Frozen Empire book? I wish I knew. I wish I knew, because there's a lot of stuff. There's a from someone who, as someone who worked on it, I can tell you that there are things in that movie that we saw art for, including like Melody and other ghosts that just there were concepts for that either evolved or didn't make the movie, or the final cut of the movie for that matter. So I would love to see a Frozen Empire book. There's what else we did? What else didn't we get? We didn't get Art of Skeleton Crew from Star Wars. Would love to see that. I would love to see the Art of Book of Boba Fett. I'd love to see I would love this. The reason why I wanted the Art of Book of Boba Fett is I know a lot of people are gonna just like poo poo on this, but whatever. I want to know what the mods bikes were supposed to look like, how we got to where we were with the mods bikes, and I've been dying for that. But the one thing with Frozen Empire as well, I want to see how they got to like the lab, the new packs, the different designs for the Ecto, because it's clearly got a new paint job. I think Frozen Empire has probably got a lot of potential. I just think maybe someone just needs to do it. Maybe Ghost Core didn't want to do it. Maybe the first book, Art of Afterlife, maybe it didn't sell that well, and so they were like, we can't justify doing another one. Really hard to say. The movie itself didn't get a lot of merch love to begin with. I mean, Hasbro made no toys of it, right? So, I mean, there's that. Oh, yes, Tony Johnson. There's an Andor book coming next year. Yes, I got that one on pre-order. Andor, Acolyte. Looking forward to both of them. Acolyte, especially. I'm hoping they have all the concepts there for the Stranger, because we all love the Stranger. All right, that is really all I wanted to bring up. I just want to do a quick review on this. It still turned into half an hour of me going, why can't it just be this? Look at this. Look at this. But yeah, that's all this stream was going to be. It's all I wanted it to be. James Field, I'm sure you're an amazing writer. Well, you are an amazing writer. I'm not going to say I'm sure you are. You are an amazing writer. You wrote the book for the Batman. It's amazing. I do kind of wish it was more like that. I kind of wish it was more in that format, that more taller book style, as opposed to these long ones. Because when you have a long book like this, I actually expect more art. For whatever reason, I think that's Marvel's fault, because this is like the Marvel and Star Wars books, those Disney books, they all do them in this style. So I just expected more. I think that's really it. That is it. Yeah, I don't. Bad Force Grump is here. Great seeing you, dude. I don't like strangers. Well, that's fair. That's fair. Don't talk to strangers. Yeah, so that's it. That's all I really wanted. So everyone, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everyone who watching on the replay. When this is done, feel free to give this a like and drop down in the comments. Tell us what art books you really loved, what art of books, and it's not necessarily about movies. Like there's been art, like concept art books for, just for novels, for music, for video games, cartoons, like Batman Animated. That's an amazing book. Tells you the making of, concepts, how things got to where it was. All amazing stuff. So again, feel free to comment if you want me to do more stuff like this too, and just talk about kind of just more books or art of books or whatever. Please let me know, because I'd be more than happy to do them. And I think Alex wanted to join today as well, but again, people are busy on weekends, and I'm not going to guilt trip him into coming in when he doesn't have to. So there it is. Thank you very much, everyone. And I will see you on Wednesday with Alice, with Alex, and with Mitch Garrett. It's going to be a hoot. And we will see you then. See you Wednesdays. Until then, go visit your comic book store and go buy some comics. Bye-bye.